Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I'm here doing a multi-part series on what is the difference between selling on the Amazon Marketplace and the eBay Marketplace. And I'm just going to give you a brief background. I've been selling for 22 years. I started on eBay when it was known as like the Wild Wild West days. I then evolved into selling on Amazon when like the FBA model came along. I had been on there previous, but that was really intriguing to me. Got in there from the ground level where they actually like paid me to start with the beta program. And if you're not familiar what that means, it's fulfillment by Amazon. And basically in a nutshell, you as a seller take a large box, pack it full of a lot of small items of what you're selling and ship it off to the Amazon warehouses. And then as the items sell, they will pack to the end consumer your goods, and they charge you a fee, multiple different fees along the way with a lot of other things to consider. And truthfully, I haven't been doing it in my business model for several years now. So if you're interested in that, highly recommend. There's probably plenty of other YouTube channels you can go watch for that. I don't have the most up-to-date on that, and that changes a lot. So I don't want to even get into a conversation about that. What my business model is known as fulfillment by merchant. And what that means is it's pretty much the same as what I'm doing on eBay. When a buyer buys something, we have it in our possession, in our warehouse. We ship it and we send it to the end consumer. So you may be saying, well, Kristen, I'm being out here shopping yard sales and estate sales, and what does all this have to do with me? And what I'm going to say is you may get something and you have that question in your mind that says, would I be better? Maybe I should put this on Amazon. Or maybe you're having a consideration because you're hearing about what people are selling on Amazon. I think, well, maybe I should do some of that too. So this series is for those people that are kind of trying to get a feel for like, would something benefit them for being there? And I'm just giving you the benefits of understanding what the differences are, and you can make your own decision. But I'm going to tell you there is a lot of differences between them. And in the first part of this series, I talked about what the buyer's expectation are. And I'm going to go into now some more of the more random, but rules, so to speak, that you have to look at and know and understand between the differences of these marketplaces, because it almost could get your account closed. So part of some of the things before you can even get yourself on an Amazon marketplace of understanding is, one is the Amazon buyer is their buyer, meaning it's Amazon's buyer. It is not your buyer. They will be very adamant. It's part of terms of service. And what that means is you're not allowed to have any contact with them off the Amazon marketplace. You're not in any way supposed to be trying to direct them to come off the Amazon marketplace. And that means like you can't put packaging material in there that's a freebie gift, or come shop my website type of thing. Absolutely not. They don't want you giving like outside emails and phone numbers. You don't even get the buyers. Their address once you ship is gone. They won't even give you like their phone number. It is encrypted to these like coded ones if you needed to contact them. So that is Amazon. eBay, you can put thank you cards in there. You can give them your phone number. You can give them a thank you gift. eBay has never precluded you from having that more, communication with the buyer on a personal level. They don't give you those. They don't preclude you from doing that. So, there's a lot of differences in how I pack my packages between the two of them because of that. With Amazon, like I have to send them boxes that are like new packaging material. eBay, like you can, you can get some free boxes from wherever and use it. And I'm not saying you can't do that on Amazon. It's just more frowned upon. And I'll get more into that when I get into the shipping part of it. But some of the other things you have to understand on Amazon is very wanting the brands to be owning their brands on their site. And to understand some of the history of that is that back in the day, eBay got out of a lawsuit basically from the skin of their teeth. And I believe it was with Tiffany and Company, because somebody was selling what was purported to be fraudulent stuff and saying it was Tiffany and Company. So that's where Vero came from out of that. And Amazon understood that they really had to put in some, precautions for themselves. And their route was they really pushed that they want the brands on there. And a lot of these brands, one comes to mind for me is Lego, Disney. They were very much about making sure that their brand was locked down. I don't even know, truthfully, if you were to pick up a Lego set in retail arbitrage world or at a yard sale, estate sale, I don't know if you would honestly even be able to list that on there. Some of these places that if you're not on the white list of sellers for the product, you can't get it. So if you're out there trying to buy something, let's say at a yard sale, thinking you're going to put it on the Amazon marketplace, you really have to do your research because you may not be able to put it on there. Again, I've mentioned in the past is they don't have categories for you being able to sell used goods. So you must make sure you're buying things and listing it according to what it is. So getting into the world of media products. Media products was their founding cornerstone and the foundation of what Amazon was. So they had always handled media products differently. One of the things with media that is good, because a lot of there's the book sellers, as they call them, which was what was basically the original, was people would just go buy used books to sell on the Amazon marketplace. There is still a very viable selling model for people who are selling used books, DVDs, CDs, video games, and that kind of thing. But they're very adamant that you follow their grading chart, and you can't list something as new if it's not new. You can't try to reseal the things yourself. There was a period of time where people were taking the video games and stuff and doing some kind of thing to get the scratches out and all. You can't list like that. And a lot of the booksellers, as they've called it, have now gotten to a business model where they actually say something's worse than it is, so that the buyer is more pleasantly surprised in the condition than getting upset that it wasn't. But that is one of the things you have to understand is the grading system in the category that you're listing it, and make sure you're really adhering to it. I know, like I said, the media products, I don't know of too many others. I would assume maybe the coins or something like that. I'm not really familiar with that. I know jewelry is a nightmare to have listings in, because you have to have your own page and there's all that stuff. So pay attention to who the brands are. Try to do some test runs if you're thinking that you're going to go that way. Like I said, some of the other brands that I can come to mind, I know Disney, I believe some of the kitchenware, the pots and pan sets and all, I know. There is also brands that monitor that website just for reporting people that they suspect have fraudulent stuff. And it's they're going to kick you off until you can prove where you bought your item and can validate that it is authentic. So that's just one of the problems from being over there. Where eBay, it's completely different in that sense. They recognize that you probably are not going to have, they're not going to have those kind of things. For the most part, once you list something and you say that it's not, if you list it as new, I haven't had a lot of experience. I know there's been some talk lately about people having their listings, as they called Veroed. It's verified something, I forget what it stands for, but it's basically where the business owner will come in and say that you're misusing some of their intellectual property, or that what you're selling is suspected to be fake. But truthfully, I think the most horrible sellers of that are people that are trying to use stock photos. They're the ones that are most quickly getting shut down, or using a product like Velcro when they don't know if it's legitimately Velcro or if it's just hook and loop closure. So some of it's just using the proper terminology or using your own pictures. So there's ways on eBay that, they recognize that it's a platform of people reselling goods. So they're not going to give you that whole problem of proving where you bought it from, or the brands just don't monitor it as much because, again, they understand that maybe it was a coat you've owned for 2 years now that you're just going to go sell. And if it's still got the tags on it, you can say it's new, it's still got tags on it. But if you use your pictures, they're not going to, they're not going to really shut you down, because it's the ones where they're still using the model picture from the websites that they found. They're the ones that are getting shut down because they're not using the proper pictures and things like that. So there's definitely a lot more leniency on some of these rules and stuff on the Amazon or eBay platform versus the Amazon platform. So I'm going to end this now. This is just some more considerations between the two, and look for the next video, because that's where I'm going to get into some of the other problems, like what comes up with shipping. So I'm going to say bye for now, and I'll catch you in the next episode.